Hey, listeners, this is Lynk-On Media. I'm Link, and here we are with Logz and AJ again. And we
Sure.
just so we last week we saw a pretty good and actually pretty competent episode of She-Hulk, and we were like, I think we were mostly
Competent.
positive about it,
Yeah.
relatively positive about it. And
Relatively.
now
Yeah.
we saw the finale, and oh my god!
It was amazing.
All right, who? All right, Michael's sounds a little far away because he's on the road right now. So what are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone here.
Okay, that must be an Android.
Wow.
See, I'm talking a lot of shit now because I got an iPhone now.
Disrespectful.
Welcome to the Matrix. But all right. Logz, you want me to start or you wanna begin?
You go ahead, bro.
Yeah, you go first.
All right. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very selective. I'm a very selective fan when it comes to this type of writing. In terms of how that season finale was written, basically. No, I understand that She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall and all that, but I just seemed a little excessive to me. It just seemed excessive. You know, it reminded me of Ocean's 12 when they had to obviously write the gang into a bit of trouble, and they seemed to not know how to get them out, so they made Julia Roberts pretend to be Julia Roberts. That's what. You seen Ocean's 12?
Yeah, that's actually my favorite part of that movie.
Yeah. That's what. No, it was funny. It was funny. It was funny because it was so unexpected. But it just kind of reminded me of that. I had a love-hate relationship with that, and at the same time, I feel this way. Like it was kind of like, all right, I didn't see this coming, but at the same time, I wasn't like overly impressed or thought that, you know what, well, this makes up for all the shit that they wrote before. It was kind of like, all right, okay, well, this is clearly for, like, some people will like this, some people won't. That's essentially what it is. I am kind of on the side of, I'm really on the fence. I don't hate it, but it is not something I'll go back to. And I mean, despite her doing all of that and, you know, going into the Marvel studio and talking to Kevin and having to, once again, of course, she had to beat up some security guards to get there, right?
I feel like they were just padding out the time. Like they were just...
Could very well be.
They were padding the time.
Like, because she walked a long way to get to that part, and it's like, did we really need to see her walk that entire way? But anyways,
yeah, well, they have to show the background.
The whole lot.
Well, you have to show the background. The guy
and people staring at her
and making Milnor, and you got to show Walt Disney and Mickey in the background. You got to show the Seven Dwarfs holding up the building. You got to pay homage.
So how did you feel about the episode so far? Like how did you feel about that? And maybe we'll go into like how we feel about the show or whatever.
So the final episode wrapped up precisely how the entire series went. So
yeah,
to me, it's like, oh, okay. So this is what's happening. Somebody's in the background controlling it, and it's Kevin, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Right.
The big bad boss, Mr. Kevin himself, in a robotic form. And if you haven't noticed, he was also wearing a cap, which is funny.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that. I noticed
it.
Yeah, he was wearing a little cap. I thought that was funny. What's also I found interesting is that, yeah, okay, that too. I found interesting is that the lenses. So I'm not sure if it was in relation to the red. You know how the TV works with the red, the blue, and if it was those
the
colors?
red, blue, yeah, the RBG.
Yeah, or if it was in relation to the Infinity Stones in Infinity Stone, Time Stone, and I can't remember the other stones.
I don't know.
Basically controls, because if you realize, Kevin is control of writing of the universe.
I think you might be going a little too deep into it. I don't know. I think it's just.
I like the analysis, but I'm not sure that She-Hulk is this deep. I'm not sure that this episode is
really
that deep.
not that deep. Like, honestly, the writers, I don't think they watch or like Marvel movies.
The interesting thing is the writers, they were making fun of Marvel the whole show.
Yeah.
But it's like
quick jabs every time.
But it's like okay, I get, you're making fun of yourself, and I understand this is kind of what the show is, but I feel like, what was the point of the entire thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of, going following the bad guys attacking her and setting up all of these mysteries?
That's exactly it.
And then you're like, Hulk has to go to Sakaar for a reason, and it all feels like it's leading somewhere. And then when we get to it, it's, first of all, it's terrible, but then how everything sort of converges on itself, like Hulk joins in and Titania jumps out and all this sort of thing.
Oh, that was over the top.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and then they point out that it is ridiculous, but then when she like points it out and then she tries to fix the show doesn't really have a resolution. It's just
thank you. That is a word. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you, but I was trying to say this at first before Logz ended up speaking. It feels like the entire episode or the season is still unresolved. That's what I feel about it. Like, nothing actually happened. Nothing actually, because we, in the midst of all the action, is when she burst into Marvel and had that whole speech with Kevin, and then by the time they come back, everything is over. So what actually, not just in that space, but like what did everything mean? What did the entire season mean?
It meant her coming and understanding how to be two people at once.
That was unearned. There was nothing there for her to. They didn't pay that off.
They didn't.
Like, no, she just left. She just. Oh, I don't like this ending. Oh, you want a new one? What ending do you want? I don't know. Maybe Furious 7, because it's all about family. So it ends in a cookout at Vin Diesel's house.
It did look like Vin Diesel's house.
And then Hulk shows up, and he's okay. So this is my issue with the Hulk thing. Like, okay, so she goes to the ending is about to like converse. Like the true villain comes out. It's the tech nerd with the who likes trying to get with her, and then she's mad that he can't get with her, and he's mad that she has powers and he wants the powers and all that sort of thing. Now that isn't great, but at least it went somewhere. Like, there is a point for this character. This character is actually doing something, and there is a villain, and there is something that she has to overcome, right? So what, we're just gonna take that away? Why would you take that away? Because other Marvel shows have done it? I mean, yeah, sure, we always criticize Marvel for doing the same old, the bad guy is just the same as the hero but evil, with the same skill set, like Killmonger and the Iron Man villains who developed their own suit, or a Red Hulk, or all of that. Like, yeah, sure, that's something we need to joke about. But what do you choose to replace that ending with? Nothing.
Basically. So I don't. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there a sec. I had something, but I lost it. Sorry.
I think the writers lost their train of thought too. I
mean, you see, well, that fit in very nicely there. Yeah, it just didn't make sense. I was stupefied by the end of it. Because I'm like, okay, if you're going to go this route, at least give us. And you know what? You actually mentioned in the last episode, and I agree with you. I don't think Tatiana Maslany is actually bad. I think she actually did well with what she had, and she's very comfortable in front of the camera. Like for the role she was supposed to play, she actually did well.
Yeah,
and there was even a part in,
excellent.
Yeah, she is because there was really even a part in there was that part when she was speaking to Kevin when she just looked so like relaxed and like comfortable in front of the camera, even when she was breaking the fourth wall and whatnot. It was like, all right, well, yeah, she's actually doing a good job. So I'm not going to blame her acting. It's just everything around her is just a dumpster fire, basically. It just made no sense. To basically reiterate what you said, like if you're going to go that route, like at least give us some sort of like direction or resolution at the end. Like we just really got to fast forward to the end without understanding the motives of certain people. By the end of the season, I still don't think that she has learned anything as an individual. Like she's the same person from minute one. There was no sort of character development anywhere. There's no change.
She's still looking. She's just looking for the D at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
The D from DD.
So she has a hookup now. Like that's the only thing that
she has a constant hookup
that went anywhere. Like
yes, there's a constant being in her life now. So now that's filled is onto the lawyer stuff.
And she may have gotten more arrogant because she's in her own show. She says, "You know what? I don't like this ending. Let's just change it and let's just bring Daredevil back because I need a dick." What?
She said that because of the daddy stereotypes.
Yeah,
everybody has a daddy stereotype, and they have this big climax at the ending with the villain, and it's all cliche. So let's change that. Even though they did
to what though?
Nothing.
To what?
Exactly.
What?
Exactly. To what?
Where's the resolution? Where is the okay? So in the last episode, she is a victim of revenge porn, right? Where is the comeuppance? Where is that is a serious fucking topic. And they're just like they just leave that open. They don't do anything about it. They just like what is
did I not message when I messaged the group when it happened? I was like, so
yeah, you said you did say something.
I was like, because I was watching it, and I was like, this makes no sense. She was just clearly hacked and showed for everyone her personal life, and she was not supposed to get upset about it. And that's when she got upset about it because she's a Hulk. All of a sudden, she's in jail.
No, but that makes
never addressed.
Well, yeah. It wasn't sort of addressed. But what I like about that was that when Bruce was telling her, look, you are dangerous. If you don't control your anger, you will hurt someone. You will Hulk out. You will do this, right? And the whole time she's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm in control. I'm a woman. Da. So in the end, Bruce was right. She that situation happened, and then she lost control, which she should.
Yeah,
which is why
it was perfectly plausible to lose the control there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the best part of the show, the entire show, her losing control over something that somebody did to her, for like, nefarious reasons. I mean, that's a story. There is a story there, but they just decide to, we're just going to throw the script in the trash, like whatever. Fuck it. It's Marvel. We don't care. This is comic book shit. This is comic book bullshit. Like, it just shows a lack of care or a lack of, storytelling sense.
I do want to also add, right, that We could even rewind a bit. Even before we got to that atrocious ending, or that little like the episode was actually shit before that. You know that, right? So it wasn't just leading up to and then that made it shit. Like the episode was still shit before that. The entire
look over at the beginning. So the ending of the episode made sense because the beginning of the episode seemed off, especially with the whole Hulk, the old school Hulk.
The old school Hulk, yeah. No, but I don't mean that. I just mean in terms of still other parts of the writing. Okay, the whole notion of intelligentsia. But that is, I once again, just a bunch of male stereotypes. Like there's not like that. So that's really like that's what I mean. Like there's not one normal person in this woman's world. No one is just a regular person. Everyone is some kind of stereotype or character. Every single person,
and mostly the men. Like the men are just really paper thin. Which, hey, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But I mean, what are we supposed to grab onto? What are we supposed to? Who are we supposed to care about here?
It's not like made for us.
Yeah, but
you got that shit right.
Grey's Anatomy wasn't made for me, but I
never watched it.
Yeah, I mean, Killing Eve wasn't made for me, but I like that. Fleabag wasn't made for me, but I enjoyed that. These are shows with like female creators that are actually good.
This Is Us. I actually
well written. This Is Us. Right, exactly.
Don't hate. No, Logz. It was actually good.
I'm not judging.
It was. I have a wife, man. I got into it, and life happens.
Okay, but you see, that's my point. Where is the heart? Where is the gravitas? Where is the character? Where is the character? Where is the arc? Like the one thing that pissed me off in the show is that when at the end, where the reporter asks her, "Are you gonna be saving people as a lawyer or as She-Hulk?" And then she says both. Mm-hmm. That was the most unearned thing because she didn't learn anything. She didn't go through anything. Yeah. She there was remember when she says, I just feel like I'm being screwed with. And then she looks to the camera. Is this what you want? And I'm like, yes, bitch. Because what is why do you think that the highest grossing Marvel movie features the Spider-Men? Because we care about them, because they have gone through shit. They've lost people. They've had to work all their lives. They're they're always at the heel of life. That's why we care about them. Of course we want you to go through shit. That's how you grow. That's how a character grows.
Basically, and to that point, like getting into just the broader, like how we feel about the entire show and that season, and we both mentioned it. I think Logz mentioned it already too. But this, in terms of like the character arc, right? So there's none.
Yeah.
And it there was a point in, I think it was in the penultimate episode when she mentioned something about her life falling apart. But when you look back at it, was her life ever together to begin with? And to be like it was it.
Not really.
Exactly.
I mean, she wasn't even really that good at her job. If we
exactly
really
she got drunk multiple times throughout the episode as a single 30-something-year-old looking to find love. Her life was already a mess. So the notion that it fell apart later on in the episode because she became She-Hulk.
She just got, her office as a lawyer. She's trying to sort her life out. She thought everything was going to be great from then on. Boom, she became a Hulk. And, her life went upside down, a little bit.
But so this is where I'm challenging the writing on that, right? The notion that her life was together because she got this great job and then she got the powers. When in actuality, she had no balance over She-Hulk and Jen Walters. Jen Walters' life was a wreck for the entire season. It was a wreck for the entire season.
It was.
And Jen Walters learned absolutely nothing throughout the entire season except that she has an attraction to Matt Murdock. That is the only thing that happened.
So wait.
The entire
Well, she's had an attraction to a lot of guys. To be fair.
Well, a deeper than platonic attraction.
Okay, now it really goes against. So you're telling me that the point of the show, the whole resolution of the show is that she has constant dick now, like
well,
like
do you see anything else? Because you mentioned it, like there was no character arc. She's still the same person from the first episode. Yeah, she is, except for the fact that she does have a love interest, right?
So she's got that, so she's more stable now.
Yeah, but have we actually seen that stability? Is that to come?
You don't need to see it. I can show you.
So does this like let's say a young woman looking at this show to be happy?
I don't know. I'm not a young woman.
You have to date like a superhero with like daddy issues. Like, what are you saying? What is this show saying to me?
Daddy issues.
Like, because she would have got with Tony Stark. If it was Tony Stark, she would. That's the thing. Matt Murdock in the show could be swapped out with anybody. It could have been Moon Knight. It could have been some other guy. Like, the only reason that it's Matt Murdock is because he's a lawyer, and that's it. There's no real.
There's no other connection.
He's just a spot. All of the men in the show is like a spot that needs to be filled.
Sorry, and not to keep jumping back and forth, but
was that not the point?
Things just keep coming up as we're talking, right? They really made her assistant more cunning than she was, because as you said, like she couldn't even do her job
from the get-go.
Oh yes, she was. That's the point. I'm not saying not. I'm saying she was.
But there are people like that though.
They're
more cunning than their boss. Smarter than their boss.
She's the...
But then what is the point of Jen? If she didn't solve anything, you know that, right? She even lost her case in court, bro.
Holy shit, that's right. Hold on a second. If Jen was a man, this show would have been completely different. Like, it would have been like a story about how like a man is taking credit of the woman's work. You see what's going on?
Like, what did Jen actually solve?
Who was the one that solved the big thing in the final episode? It was her. Exactly. It was the assistant.
It was correct.
And fucking Pug.
Pug did nothing.
Hey,
what do you mean?
Pug was the face of the operation, all right?
He was the face.
Yeah,
he definitely was.
Did not want to do it, but he was forced, and that was another thing. I guess that's just a minor annoyance of just how easy it was for Nikki to be able to send this video and message and get and basically get a response. Hey, so this is where our secret hideout is. Just come join us, bro. Like,
you're one of us,
man.
It was too easy for what is supposed to be like a almost like a secretive sort of gang or group or whatever. Like,
at least the bad guy was who we thought the bad guy was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was so obvious because, like, in the last episode, it was like, why are we spending time with this guy? Oh, he's the bad guy, probably. More than likely, he was the one that. And lo and behold, he was sort of the guy. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, I think. Hold on, I was gonna say something about Nikki. But yeah, like that her finding that out, and it happens to actually be the place where Jen was coincidentally. That's standard Marvel writing at this point. I mean, if you've seen any of these Disney Plus shows,
I would say like, Marvel, but I just say classic movies.
Phase 4 writing is god awful.
Phase 4 is the most approved phase of all the phases.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you saying to me? Like, and like nothing.
Audience approved.
And that's sort of the thing about these these shows, it's just, where are you going with this? Like there's a lot of time, like even with Miss Marvel, like in the last, like the bad guy dies like an episode before, like the penultimate episode, and I'm like, why are we still watching though? Like, where's the other bad guy? What are we still doing here?
We got to wrap up family issues.
What are we doing? Miss Marvel, the funny thing about Miss Marvel is it's so deep in its culture. Like, they spend more time on the cousins, on her family, than they do the actual superhero stuff. So it's like,
nothing's wrong with that.
Then just make a show about a girl in Jersey who's Muslim. That's it. Just
no, she gotta have superpowers. She gotta have superpowers.
Like,
it's her origin story, man.
Oh, man. And oh my god, like the writers wrote themselves into the story.
Like, yeah, because Kevin said to do it.
I will say, I will give them this. I will say that in the comic books, there's lots of times where She-Hulk, she would rip out the page and she would be like, she would talk to the writer and be like, I don't really like this ending, or I don't really like what I'm wearing. Could you just fix this? Yeah. Like Bugs Bunny has done it. Mike Myers has done it with the first Wayne's World, where they like, oh, this ending's too sad. Let's change it. But at least when you do something like that, honor what you've set up. Like, you made us watch like all of these things expecting
for no reason
it to go somewhere, but then you know, everything works out. Matt Murdock just jumped from a tree and now he's here. Like, everything.
Yo, how did he come in? Where did the tree come from?
That dude fell from the sky, my guy.
He literally just fell from the sky.
Like,
he just fell from the sky.
And that costume looks so terrible in the sunlight. Like, there is a reason why Batman never comes out in the sunlight, because his suit would look like trash. And they got Matt Murdock with his yellow and red ass just running around, and that shit looks terrible, man.
Yeah, I just like, nothing was solved. Like, what is the motive of the bad guy? If it isn't that he wants her powers and she changed the ending, like, what is his motive? Like, what did she actually pick up? What did she learn? Like there wasn't even she if she could break the fourth wall, wasn't there even like to be couldn't there have been some kind of like monologue where she like just gave a little snippet to the audience to show that, okay, well, this is something that Jen Walters has picked up throughout the season. I don't know. It was just absolutely nothing. It was just absolutely nothing. Like, all of the main characters just exist. There is no purpose to anyone. There is, I don't know, just a bunch of submerging storylines. But just with absolutely no purpose. That is all I got.
Yeah, and it's this Rick and Morty thing, like the same thing I was saying. Like, a lot of the Rick and Morty writers are coming in and just
one Rick and Morty writer.
Let's have fun with the showrunner is a Rick and Morty writer. She wrote Pickle Rick, which was a fluke, because I mean, oh yeah, I'm Pickle Rick. Yeah, that's the person you choose to run an entire show.
Yes.
Come on.
Because the whole show was just jabs at Marvel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she said they had more jabs, but they cut a lot of them out because it was too much.
Yeah.
It was a Rick and Morty show.
Be angry.
Marvel.
I saw. Well, you know what? I guess then that all I will say is I didn't enjoy it. I don't think it probably was not for me, maybe not for my demographic. I'm not like a diehard Marvel fan.
I am not a diehard Marvel fan.
I obviously have not read all the comics because we know that much. Yeah, I haven't read the comic books because I had no idea that she broke the fourth wall to talk to the writers and so on.
Yes, she does.
Right. So I didn't know all that, but I will say I was analyzing it from a completely different perspective. It's just not for me. The thing is though, I will watch season 2 because I'm a glutton for punishment and I need something to analyze. So I will still watch it. I'm still going to watch it.
They have a problem with it.
I think I'm out, man. Like the Marvel thing is like it's there with like Star Wars movies for me, where I just the it's just not there anymore. Like I was more of a DC fan, but when Marvel was sort of getting their act together, you know, bringing all these characters together, actually trying to make, you know, the take it like a little bit serious, but you know, they threw in a lot of jokes, which is fine. It ruined a little bit of the tension, but now it's just nothing makes any sort of sense. Like the shows are just sort of like long movies that they made even longer and then they chop them up. And you know, now we have like a show like Hawkeye where Hawkeye is barely a character in it, and there's like long, you know, scenes with LARPing, and it's like, what are we doing? Like, what is all this? I can't, you know, I still think Loki is the worst of all of them. I think I just the whole taking free will out of the equation of the Marvel universe. So everything was meant to be that because of some dude in a
because I wrote it that way.
Yeah.
What if he wrote in Kevin? Kevin.
Exactly. Like what how does time travel work? Because in Endgame it's one thing, but in Miss Marvel it's a completely different thing. So what is magic to like Doctor Strange, but then to another sort of iteration? Like, how does any of this work anymore? Like, it doesn't, like, none of it is making any sense to me. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it's just it's there's too much things happening. Like, no one has addressed Eternals yet. I mean, I don't even know why it's even a thing, and I'm out, man. I've put in my time. I'll see Wakanda Forever. I'll see that, you know. But other than that, I don't think I'll watch any of the shows. I'm not watching more She-Hulk. If they come back, I'm done with that.
Well, she's not gonna movie, so you know, there's that.
Yeah, and Avengers is going to be written by a Rick and Morty writer, and I'm just like, no more of these Rick and Morty writers. I'm done.
I'm here for it.
I'm gonna be over with DC. I'm gonna check out Black Adam and those guys. I'm kind of
and Shazam.
Yeah, I'd rather Shazam. I'm good. I had my fill. I tried. I really did. I gave it a shot. You can't say that like I didn't give it a shot. I put in my time. You know, you didn't even do like Titania right. Like Titania is one of She-Hulk's like biggest nemesis, and they didn't even give her a backstory. She's a influencer. They gave her nothing. Okay, can you give her some more? Like
nothing.
That's what I'm saying.
There was nothing to give.
There was no purpose to any character.
There was nothing to give.
Purpose to any character.
The last episode proved that. There was no purpose for anything. It was just a filler series to just update you on a couple of characters, see how they're doing, and that was it. So when the movies come out, you're like, oh, so Hulk has a son. Where's his son? We don't just pop in the son all of a sudden, you know. Oh, this is my son from wherever. Yeah. Or you know how Abomination got out of prison. Now we know.
Yeah, I mean, do we need to watch any of these Disney Plus shows? I mean, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is basically how Falcon got his new suit. That's it. Like, okay, you got a worse suit. Nothing in that show meant anything to me, man. Like Hawkeye, like, okay, there's a chick Hawkeye now. Okay, great, whatever. Loki, he's, you know, running around with the female version of himself and making out with her and shit. I don't, like, who gives a shit? What is all this? What? I don't want to. Come on, man.
This man is distraught.
Moon Knight. Like, there's only like 4 minutes of Moon Knight in it. Like, what did? Why call it Moon Knight? Like, who get? Like, come on. Fucking Moon Knight. Jesus Christ.
They're all still better than Disney Star Wars movies, but yeah.
Fuck, man. Bringing that up with the Last Jedi and all that shit.